the largest Discord communities, and it was so big that the founder of Discord came on that community and asked, "Who the hell are you?"
So that's how much BlueLearn has raised. The total capital makes it like close to $4 million. If Discord comes to you and then says that, bro, you know what? You guys are doing something not right, and we don't like you, and then we're going to delete your channel. That's it, done. So the company would just be invisible. If you really like something, go all out and just try so much that you fail more than someone even tries.
Hello and welcome to another fantastic episode of Pitch Cafe podcast. What can I say to introduce our guest today? He's one of the youngest guests on my podcast. We've had venture capitalists, we've had serial entrepreneurs, we've had serial unicorn founders, women activists, social entrepreneurs, but we've never had someone like him before. He is an up-and-coming edtech social media influencer in India. Can you believe that in India there is a company that created one of the largest Discord communities for youth entrepreneurs and skill building? And it was so big that the founder of Discord came on that community and asked, "Who the hell are you?" And we are talking today to one of the key members who helped build that community. Without further ado, let me bring on Pitch Cafe podcast Chandan Perla of BlueLearn, edtech startup community from India. Chandan, welcome to Pitch Cafe podcast.
Thank you so much for that very, very, very warm introduction. It started getting sweaty over here already. It's super warm.
Well,
that is so much of a drag. I mean, influencer is a big drag. I don't consider myself as yet.
No, look, if Chandan is hosting a session, YouTube is maxed out, Discord is maxed out, Google Meet is maxed out, everybody's responding. I mean, Google, all the people are so actively engaged that if I type a message, it's going to take a long time for my message to appear on the chat because people are so active. Whether it's a workshop on blockchain or whether it's a workshop on design thinking, any topic, Chandan hosts a session. You know, the social media, all elements are maxed out. So Chandan, tell me, you are managing growth, partnership and community at BlueLearn, a tech startup, one of those very few startups who created so much traction in India that investors from Silicon Valley had to come and get in touch with them and fund them. So Chandan, tell me, what is the secret of your community building? Who is Chandan and what makes him such an amazing community builder?
Okay, I think, so there are two ways to look at it. Number one, it's not just me alone. It's my entire team of 13 people building the community team, which we once ran at full-fledged when community was the KPI. And still, BlueLearn is known for the community, right?
Absolutely.
So again, it's not one person that makes anything happen. Well, there are ideas that are generated together. There is execution happening together.
Yeah.
And when it comes to the investment part, Shreyans and Harish are the perfect people to talk to because Shreyans is the finance boy of BlueLearn. And he takes care of everything. And I believe he's the youngest and the most well-versed finance guy. Finance, 24-year-old now? Yeah, he's damn old now. Yeah, 24-year-old that I know of.
Right.
Yeah.
How old are you?
And I'm 22.
Oh my
I'm 22.
God. Okay.
Yeah.
So
turning old.
अभी तो आपके दूध के दांत निकल के आए. in the startup. No. So anyway, I've listened to some of your sessions. You guys are so well read. I mean, there was this 18 or 19-year-old startup founder. He's giving me gyan about some a startup book on product management. He's read it cover to cover. Seems like a thick high growth handbook. He was barely 20. And so tell me, Chandan, how do you attract such amazing people? What happens? Tell me what a typical BlueLearn session is.
100%.
Yeah.
So when we started the community, so I'll quickly explain what BlueLearn is for a lot of people if you don't know.
Yeah.
So BlueLearn initially started as an extension to a YouTube channel. So Harish, who's the co-founder of the company, has run this YouTube YouTube page called Curious Harish, where he was talking about how to make money, how to make your first paycheck, how to get started while you were a college student.
Right.
And then it got a lot of traction. What I mean by that is we've seen like it started booming up, right? This is 2020 is when he's been posting videos from like 2018 and 2019.
Yeah.
But it actually started the growth phase at 2020, and that's the peak lockdown.
Yeah.
So we were like, a lot of people are coming, people are talking in the comment section, why not put them in a Telegram group? So once we've put them in a Telegram group, we were like, what are these guys doing? They're just talking about anything. Something that we feel so privileged that we speak in English is not something so normal for someone in like a lot of people in India.
Yeah.
And then we were like, why not organize, let's say 4 to 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. every single day.
Yeah.
We speak in English. We just talk. We don't teach. We speak in English. We have a conversation just like this one.
Right.
And then that's exactly when we were like, let's start it. We started from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. every single day. And then it blew up at a scale of 200% growth week on week.
Oh my God.
So at that scale, we were like, we can't even manage it because in a community, a lot of let's say spam happens, good stuff, bad stuff, everything happens. For us to manage it,
I have to say this. I saw Chandan and Ishan do a session. They're discussing about cryptocurrency and how they're making money on it. And it's like people are sending so many comments. Like I was getting dizzy. You know, these people are talking, and every word they're saying, there are so many comments. I'm like, this community is nuts. There are so many people in this community. So continue. I didn't want to interrupt, but
yeah.
And
that's okay. So, correct. We had 200% growth week on week, and then we were like, we're not able to manage it.
Yeah.
So one of the community members was like, I believe this is Manav. So huge shout out to Manav. Manav comes up with this idea that why do we not open a Discord server? So the Discord server starts, and then on Discord server we went from one thing that we were talking. English to a point of close to like 24 different things.
Oh my
so
God.
24 different, let's say, niches is what have been covered in BlueLearn. Today, that is what able to make BlueLearn the most, let's say, well-versed Discord community,
So
considering tech, design, product, marketing, anything and everything. At a point, I was taking I was doing a conversation. I was doing a event on European cuisine. I was just passionate at it. Yeah.
And you have a lot of open mics, and Nilay did a course on how to ace hackathons, how to win a hackathon. Like, who does that? Who does a workshop on how to win a hackathon? It's like so unique, and so many people attended. I also attended. Yeah.
You asked me this question. How do we attract people like that, right?
Correct.
So I think the community is engineered in such a way. So I'll tell you, this is community 101, where when we started a community, we always looked at the top of the funnel, middle of the funnel, and the bottom of the funnel. We want cream to be at the bottom of the funnel, right? So at the top of the funnel, we want the funnel to be so big that we have the inflow so much. And that's where YouTube channel came into the picture. People who are interested came into the Discord server. People who are active in the Discord server and actually have done something is where our community managers, our team has recognized it. And then we were like, dude, this guy is great and we should bring him onto the event. And then he or she, someone who is very good at something. So we always believe in people who are T-shaped learning curve. They're good at a lot of things and then they're great at one thing. For example, Nilay is great at, he's insane at playing the flute. He's a great aficionado of coffee. So, I mean, someone else was telling me about this. Once Harish, when he went to Nilay's home, he had a huge box with like 40 to 50 different flavors of coffee. And that's not too normal for an average Indian, right? So I don't think it's normal for anyone. So he loves coffee. So if we ask him to do a session on coffee, he would be more than happy to, and he would love that. Similarly, if, let's say, Vidyangi has done something on the lines of PR, and then social media. You're someone really good at it, and then you've done for yourself. And
Yeah.
then you are the perfect person to take that session on BlueLearn. And we
Correct.
don't see it as a session.
Yeah.
We see it as something where it's a conversation. We never consider them as like a webinar. So that was the thing.
That's an amazing thing. By the way, I am doing a talk on how to make money from Gen AI creator tools. But the way
See, there we go.
and I did a mock session, but then the platform where I'm doing it, there is no interaction during the session. But what I love about your sessions is, as soon as the session starts, every 10 minutes, people are typing questions, and the person who is doing the session is actually responding, and you guys are applauding. That guy sees the applause, and it's so amazing, so encouraging for all of us to ask questions. So so there you are building these amazing communities. You started with English and then you branched out into 24 specialities. You use this T-shaped model to funnel the great people. So what happened next? What's the next stage in BlueLearn's story? Hey there, global innovators. This episode is brought to you by Crossing Frontiers Immigration Law. Are you ready to start your next big adventure across borders? Crossing Frontiers is your bridge to the future. They specialize in US immigration law for startups, founders, and the fantastic folks you bring on board navigating visa intricacies. They've got the map. Don't let paperwork dampen your entrepreneurial spirit. Visit www.crossingfrontiers.ca and use the discount code to get $100 off. Let's get you where you're destined to go.
So this course has been going great. Shans has this idea of why not raise funds. So these guys, okay, all of us were in college. So they did a 4-year college and then I did a 3-year degree. So they did a 4-year degree and mine is a 3-year degree. So literally all of us graduated at the same time. What happened then in that period was we were looking at internships. We were looking at, let's say, jobs. We were sitting for placements and stuff. So all of us, we had a few opportunities that we wanted to get in. And then Shans is like, you know what? So exactly 1 week before the fundraise, Shans applied for an internship. Shans was interning in another company.
Yeah.
So because BlueLearn was a side hustle where we were like, let's try it out. Let's see where things go. We don't really have an intention that this is the product, let's say, roadmap where we want to head.
That's crazy. You have so much traction.
He raises this fund. He raises this fund of like close to pre-seed of $450,000. And then we were like, let's actually take it forward. And few months from then, this is a little before. And then few months from then, we've raised close to, Shans and Harish. Shans is a baller at this game. Like he's master of like the finance game. And then he raises this fund of like close to $3.5 million. So together makes the total capital makes it like close to $4 million. So that's how much BlueLearn has raised over 2022. Yes.
Wonderful. And what is your product right now? I know you have a great community.
So that's when So that's when we were like we were able to see behaviors on Discord. Now, what is a feature that we can build full-fledged? So when we raised funds, one of the things that our investors had in mind was that it's a common thing, right? Tomorrow, if Discord comes to you and then says that, bro, you know what? You guys are doing something not right, and we don't like you, and then we're going to delete your channel. That's it, done. So the company would just be invisible. Right. It's not that they don't like us, they love us because we were able to clock in more than 1.2 lakh voice minutes per day. Wow. So at the peak, which is more than a lot of social media apps by themselves.
And then you want to
not the main fledged.
You want to be doing the right things with the community. It's such a crazy community. You don't want to do anything haywire, right? Yeah. You have to moderate.
So we had a few ideas. We had a few people come up to us and then they were like, bro, you know what? You promote this specific stock, this specific short of specific coin. Come, let's raid a YouTube channel. So this for fun. What we could do is we could go to random YouTube live streams and then just get like 100, 250, 300,000, 2,000 people along with us over there and then create a buzz over there and then do shenanigans. So again, it's just a bunch of 20-year-olds, right? So we love doing stuff like that, but we never did that. Don't worry. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now the product is the BlueLearn app. On the Discord server, we have behaviors of community. And over here, we were like, why not help people to get internships and opportunities? So that's when BlueLearn app today has more than 220,000 people, close to 2.2 lakh plus people.
Wow.
And so what we help in the app is help people get internships, opportunities ranging from tech, design, product, and marketing. These are the 4 industries that we look at. And so people come, learn from each other, and then from the events, and then earn from the opportunities that are there on the platform. And then at the end of the day, what is the glue that makes people hold to this platform is the network. So these are the 3 main pillars that BlueLearn worked on.
Yeah, for me, what kept me with BlueLearn is during pandemic, it was all virtual, and you guys were talking about something exciting all the time. Like, I'm at a phase where I have to reskill myself because things have changed a lot, and with you guys, I'm always reskilling. When I enter a session, the last session I attended was about a Vision Pro headset. How to build applications for that, or what can you do with it? And I had a bunch of questions that was interesting. If Vision Pro is not yet in the market in many countries, many parts of the world, and you already have a session and somebody is giving guidelines on what to do with the headset. So that was pretty cool, I thought. So Chandan, I want to ask you, what are some of the tips and tricks in building a great community? I want to get to that. Before that, tell us who you are and what makes you so insanely good in building communities. Where did you start your journey? I know you have a great presence in the podcasting community. Tell us about yourself, and then we can go to your magic,
right,
secret recipe.
Definitely. A lot of broth in that. So starting about why am I good at communities? I don't think so. I think I'm still in the process of learning, trying out a lot of experiments. At the end of the day, everything is an experiment, right? You try 100 different things and let's say 10 things work out. It's always like the number of times you get rejected should be more than the number of times someone even pitches. So that's the thing. You just have to be shameless at trying again and again and again. I think that's what makes it special. Okay, coming back again, my story starts at I was a pure science guy working on thermodynamics, building a product called the Neuropulse Transmitter, where I was helping therapists to analyze person's mental health in real time. So imagine this is a therapy session and you ask me, Chandan, how are you feeling? If I'm an extrovert, I'll be able to put out every single bit of information saying that this is why it happened and I think this is why it's happening. And then you prescribe me medication based on that. But what if I'm an introvert? What if I'm not so comfortable putting out my reason or talking about it? So that's where the Neuropulse Transmitter, it's like a pair of glasses where it analyzes your synaptic discharge from the temporal regions, and then these are the temporal areas, and then it puts out on a screen. So now, when you ask me a question based on the way I think, my let's say, activity is being presented on an XYZ graph as well. XY graph. So, and then what happens after that? Based on this is like a thermometer for mental health. We're able to scale, we're able to put a number on the intensity of, let's say, thing that's happening in your head. So, on the patient's head. So, this is exactly the product I was building. Got support from WeWork Labs. WeWork, when they were the multi-billion-dollar company, is when they supported us. This is in the first year of college. And then, and the company crashed. We paused. We got support from IISc, Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, TIFR, Tata Institute of Fundamental Research, and NIMHANS, National Institute of Mental Health. So the Bangalore thing. And Fortis was also someone who was helping us initially. Supporting us. So there were these institutions that are involved to build this product. And then me and my co-founder, Jasmeer Gill, who is a business guy back then. So we both were working on this like alongside of college. After college hours, we used to work on this. So during this period, we were experimenting. And then because of a few things from the WeWork side and because of a few reasons, just in terms of the go-to market of a product, of a mental health product, we were like, bro, look what, it's a great story until now. And then we're a bunch of 19, 20-year-olds trying to do something. And then we were on the path of it. And then we'll pause it for now. And then we'll see what is the other thing that we can get into the market real quick. So, I mean, scalability as a question, and then few concerns on the tech end as well. We paused it. So then I went on to building something called Yocham Fest. Yocham Fest is a community where I come from, Vijayawada. It's a small, it's a city, but it's small. So people over there believed only in mugging up information, let's say putting it on the paper and then getting a great JEE score. All they had in mind, their North Star metric is just about getting a good JEE rank or a NEET or anything. I believe the world is, it's a little beyond those four walls, right? And literally, my 11th and 12th has been a concentration camp. Yeah, I must use the word concentration camp. Because people are locked in small rooms for like 8 in the morning to 8 in the evening. The only thing that mattered is your score. And then you're not allowed to talk to others. You're not allowed to move off your bench. So it was just so not so right. And then there was a rage. There was a rage that came in.
Yeah, you said it right. I mean, that's the time you're supposed to be exploring, meeting people, learning from people, developing all other kinds of intelligence, which is not just reading and reproducing. There are so many kinds of, and then I feel in your generation, people like you who are building communities, you're parallel governments. You're not abiding by what has been thrust on you. You're creating your own world, and I think your BlueLearn community was exactly that. You did exactly that. You built your own community.
We tried.
Yes. Okay, so let's come back to your story. And you're saying that...
Right.
Yeah.
So that's when I met this guy called Richie, okay? So we randomly meet at an event. And then, there was season 1 of something called Yocham Fest being built. And then what do we want to do over there? Irrespective of what you have in mind, irrespective of which school you come from, just come in 15 different spaces. Like either you dance, you do a Rubik's Cube. If you're the best at it, and I'm ready to give you a JBL speaker. That's it. So that's what we've done. We've organized competitions for like a day. And then we organized these things. So what happened later? We were like, we've done 3 seasons of it, got support from the AP government as a sponsor. And then I was like, there is capital. There is capital in this sector, but not really in a, let's say, not to capitalize, but there is a need for, let's say, providers, let's say, people who can do stuff in this area. And that's when I was like, in the idea of driving a change, I happened to be meeting this guy called Prithvi, where we've built a stand-up comedy club as well, because stand-up comedy was on the rise. It's just that we have to bring change in people's mindset in Vijayawada. So we've done that. And then later at the end of that time, before I moved to Bangalore, I wanted to be like, this is December. We want to do something really, really big. So what's the biggest thing that happens in December? It was a New Year party. How could we do the biggest New Year party in a city where people's mindset for disposable income, let's say if you on a Sunday, the average prize money that you'd spend in 2019 would be like a 500 rupees or 1,000 rupees at max, right? But how do we scale it to 1,700 rupees per person is where we went on doing something called Illuminate NYE. I met this guy called Ram. So Ram is a great guy. Now he's one of the biggest event organizers in the state of in the states of Andhra and Telangana.
Wow.
Yeah, the man is damn big now. So what we had in mind was let's bring in someone who unites the crowd. Is when we brought this, let's say, Big Boss winner. I don't want to take the name. I'm not going to give the season which season's winner he is.
Wow.
So we bring this guy, and then we had huge crowd. And then the event was successful in a few ways, and the event was not successful in a few ways. Always we've learned again and again and again. And that's when I moved to Bangalore, built Absolute Tech, the mental health tech company. And then COVID happened, went back to home, started an agency, didn't work, started a dropshipping business, didn't work. Oh yeah, I was selling these wristbands where you press them and then it puts in sanitizer in your palm. So it was all these weird stuff that you get on Alibaba from China that we were bringing to the US market and then selling at a 200% markup. So me and my friend Manish were doing this, but it didn't really work out because anti-China movement happened.
Yeah.
Along with that, we had another idea. People in Florida had this thing about roofs, right? Roofing business is something that's big. And then we were like, how about I help people, let's say local businesses, or locals like you. And then, let's say I connect you with someone who can help you with the roofing business and then get a $1,500 commission. So, I mean, for a 20-year-old, 21-year-old in India, it's a very big deal. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it still is a big deal.
Yeah.
And then we tried doing that, but we've learned sales the hard way. We've learned storytelling the hard way. Me and my friend Manish. Manish, if you're watching this, we should start again doing something. And then we paused that as well. And then I work in this blockchain company. Yeah. So, and I hated the culture of it. So the company was soon to be acquired by Nas Daily. Nas, that's what I'm going to see you tomorrow, that guy.
Yeah.
So, and then I was like, the company's going great, but I didn't really like the culture. And then I left it because it just didn't work out for me. And then I'm saying it's good. It's good in its own way, but I was just not so satisfied or happy. And then I was like, cool, let's get into the next part. That is, I was building a podcast called High on Tranquility. So it's been 3.5 years since I started High on Tranquility. In the first year, we randomly started, and then it reaches 40 countries in 8 months. I was like, 36 countries in 8 months. They were like, bro, I don't know how it's happening. It just went on. I believe it's the consistency as a game and trying to deliver quality. So everything that I've done in all the other ventures that didn't work out, but it worked out in the way of getting me in touch with cool people who've done cool stuff. Again, cool is subjective, right? Something that you think is cool is not something that I think is cool.
Yeah.
So, what I felt fascinated, I brought people like that. I brought people like economists. I brought people like, let's say, people who cook really well, people who blog food, anything and everything, any niche. So at a point I had musicians, at a point I had people who are running e-sales, at a point I had entrepreneurs, people who are running 200 crore businesses, everything. And that's when I messaged this guy called Harish. So I was like, bro, you know what? I see your channel at 7,000 subscribers. Would you like to be on the page? Would you like to be on High on Tranquility? High on Tranquility is the name of the podcast. So, and then he doesn't really. I mean that didn't happen. But we started talking. So he put something on Instagram, and then I respond to it, and then the conversation keeps going on. And then he says that, bro, you know what? We're looking for help with social media. And I was like, yeah, I left this company, but I'm happy to see if there's something. I'm interested. We started talking about that. And then that doesn't really happen. And then after a conversation for 40 minutes, and then he's like, try community. I was like, this is something new. I'm not really sure. And then and that's when he says, try it out. Let's see. And then I have a team of 13 people, and this is final year of college. I go to this college called Christ University. I went to this college called Christ University, where 85% attendance is a mandatory thing. So evenings I used to work for the plans at BlueLearn, and then nights I used to work on my final year research project. Mornings I used to go on to make videos, and then at 9 I used to go to college to sleep in the classes. So that's what I did.
This is what all the other Bitsians did. So Harish is from Bits Pilani, right? I think he got his degree finally. They had all they were kind of drop out, and then they got their degrees.
No. The thing with Harish Shans is that they had a zero attendance policy. So attendance was never really a thing. And barely Harish has 15-20% attendance. Right. So it was never really the thing that counted on for them. But for me, on the other case, I got to manage these things. But I've learned the game of prioritizing, trying multiple things. And I loved it. It was stressful, but it was good stress. And for a short period of time.
Now you graduated, or you're still in college?
No. I graduated last year.
Okay.
I graduated last year. Yeah. And now, and then we were like, BlueLearn is a thing that we'll be working on for a period. So we've been working on BlueLearn. That's the thing. And yeah, along with BlueLearn, I always try to experiment a lot of things so that there is learning all the time. Yeah. There is learning curve that just doesn't get flattened.
So tell me, experimenting with something costs you time, it costs you money. I know you're right now, money may not really be a concern because you don't have family supporting you, but a lot of people who get a job as soon as they graduate, they feel, oh, I missed out on that freedom where I could go try out things. And then they come back and they want to try, they give up a job. So what would you tell them? Because experimenting something, in business school, there's a term called cost of acquisition. It's called CAC. So when an investor invests money in your company, he's going to look at that. He's going to see how much money do you spend getting your customer. And if it's a lot, then
100%.
he's not going to invest in you, because you're going to burn more than you're going to make. So what is your advice to those people? Like, when do you stop experimenting, and when do you kind of say, hey, look, this is enough, I need to get settled down?
No. I think it's waves. When you're happy, you slow down experimenting. When you're sad, just go shamelessly experiment and then try it out again and again and again. I think it's the process of failing fast. Like, we just have to be so shameless that it's okay. We just put out so many things that not everything works out, and that's okay. That's totally fine. And no one really wants you to be like doing everything that you are. I mean, there's no obligation that everything that you do has to be successful.
Yeah,
the
tea thing,
a lot
right?
of my friends as well.
Yeah, the tea concept.
Sorry, please go on.
No, the tea concept which you said, like, you're doing good, lot of things, and then you're doing good in really one thing. So that's kind of true with people also, and that makes us feel good about trying again and trying a lot of things. And believe me, it's very hard to see people like that. Most people settle down on something safe and they continue to be there.
So I would say, sure, but okay, sometimes there's this opportunity cost, right?
Yeah.
When you're doing so many things, your bandwidth is in so many places. This is what I came to realize recently. That it's cool, you try so many things, but when you're working on a thing, put your 100%, 200% on that one thing. And as much as possible on that one thing. And I think that's the way to go. And like,
so
another thing.
Another thing. Go ahead.
Yeah, another thing. I was talking to this founder of this company. Okay, so Mr. Rajesh. So he's the founder of this company called Hustle Hub. He's the CEO to a lot of companies, and out of which the smallest company of his is a multi-million-dollar company in India. So like, he's insanely fascinating. So there's a snippet from his college life, right? He's from BITS. So during his college time, this is during 1990s or early 2000s, when he was 1990s. So when he was the sponsorship guy at a college club, where he was, for a college fest, he was getting sponsorship. He was approaching people, companies and everything. He is so capable that he raised so much capital, so much sponsorship, that he paid the fees of the entire batch.
Wow. Okay. That's amazing. That's insane. So, yeah,
there are people like that. Let me just finish this off. So there are people like that on one side. And something that he said is, he spends 60% of his time just thinking, building business models in his head, seeing what works out, seeing what doesn't work out. And then you spend 10% delegating and then just doing the rest. So that's all stuff.
Oh my God. So it's like, Einstein said that you're given 1 hour to do something, 55 minutes frame the problem. 55 minutes just spend what problem you're going to, put your head to, and then 5 minutes, do the thing. So we probably spend 5 minutes thinking, and we are hustling 100%. Around the other 55 minutes. So that's interesting. See, there's a lady who donated $1 billion here to New York University Medical School, and that waived the medical school fee for the entire cohort. Here, I was just thinking, she made money on Wall Street. So medical school is one of the most expensive schools to be in the US.
Yeah, they are.
Imagine how lucky those kids are. Their entire medical school fee, so they're free for life. Because once you graduate in US, you spend many years repaying the loan. Every month you have to repay the loan. So I thought that was, your Mr. Rajesh sounds like that. And how
he's so amazing. He's so insane. Like, I never really spoke to him, but it was just like bits of conversations that I had. And again, he's only in a month. Half of the month is when he's in India, and half the month you never know where he is. So yeah.
No wonder. No wonder. So, Chandan, like when you're talking about your experience when you were studying those 2 years, 11th and 12th.
Correct.
You were strapped to the desk and you didn't like it, and here you are building BlueLearn, where you're helping people skill themselves. What do you think schools of tomorrow will look like? Or if God gave you all the power in the world, what kind of a school would you be building?
I mean, that's a big thing. Let me just think. Yeah. So out of our latest interview with Sam Altman, someone asks about what do you want the next generation of students to focus on?
Yeah.
And one of the answer that he gives is just so fascinating. He says people have to learn skills like emotional intelligence, how to handle situations, the art of building relationships, conversations, and this integrity of learning stuff really, really fast, like throwing ourselves into places where there is steep learning curve that is involved. I think it's being more practical is what is important. And there's this follow-up question, right? So she asks him, Sam Altman, that do you think people should learn how to code? And then he gives this wonderful answer saying that I think he believes coding is like thinking. So it's important to learn that process because it teaches you how to think. So this nugget of how to think is what has to be a core integral than mugging up and then putting that content out for exams. So I think that's how it should look like.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And there are two kinds of thinking: the slow thinking and fast thinking. If you've read the Daniel Kahneman book, most people are good in one or the other, either slow thinking or fast thinking. When you gotta do both, like the spontaneous, creative, artist kind of people, they find it very hard to do long-term strategic planning. And people who do long-term strategic planning, it's very hard for them to be friendly, conversational, spontaneous, accepting. They have a very grid structured thinking. So that's a great skill. But Jensen Huang said, no need to learn coding, learn how to talk and communicate well, because that's what's gonna be the future, and learn to do that well. So what do you think about that?
I think 100%. If you're able to communicate with let's say GPT-10, which is going to come, let's say 5 years from now,
it's AGI.
I think all you have to do is just talk to it. If you're able to communicate your ideas well, that's it. And there's this thing, right? Not all startup founders are developers, but like they are great at putting their thought of this is what I want to build out to the person who's building it. So let's say the CTO. So this way of communicating ideas is by far, it's important, that holds companies together, and it in fact holds relationships together. That's it.
That's awesome. So, for all you know, everything you say has come true, and whatever you're saying is definitely going to come true, because you are the guys who are building the communities of tomorrow. So I'm going to definitely believe in what you're going to say. Well, on that note, Chandan, I want you to share a few tips and tricks for people to build communities. Hey, look, I'm here in Silicon Valley and I struggle with these early stage startup founders who build great products and they want good product adoption. And the first problem they face is they're all these introvert techies and they have to go out there and build a community. So give us some 2 to 3 tips on how to build amazing communities.
So with regards to building communities, I don't think there's like a template of it. So every company, let's say Silicon Valley startup A is different from startup B, startup C, startup D, startup F. So every company has to have its own approach of building stuff. So, I mean, I'm always happy to get on calls with people, founders and stuff, brainstorm what they're doing. People can reach out to me at Chandan, ChandanPerla 71@gmail.com or just on LinkedIn, anyway. So one of the things that we've seen commonly across, let's say, level 1 of building community is have it build that intent. Why should someone follow you? Why should someone be a part of your community? Is where the reason comes, right? What is the takeaway that they're having? As community builders, some of the things that we should have in head is that the art of relentless giving. Just keep giving without actually thinking of monetizing from them.
Yes.
Sure, you think of monetizing as a business model, but when you think of relentless giving, just keep going on, just keep giving. So that's what happens. And the core intent. So for example, in BlueLearn's case, it's been people who want to start up, people who want to build a side hustle, people who want to freelance.
Yeah.
It's people like this were the top of the funnel from Harish's channel, and then came into the Telegram groups or the Discord server. And then people who stayed active are the people who had this intent going on. And I think having a chain, what do you call it? A process in place. At the same time, always have the number of queues. For example, if you're selling, let's say, you're selling coffee. Let's consider that. Not every Silicon Valley is a tech startup, right? Most of them are. But if you're selling coffee, imagine creating a community around people who love coffee. What would people? I'm brainstorming with you. So, what would people who want to buy coffee look for? Vidya, what do you think? Let's say I'm selling a coffee brand. Imagine this is a packet of coffee. How would I? What are traits that I see in people who drink coffee? What are the behaviors that I see?
I think they, of course, the taste of the coffee bean is something which matters to them, but I feel the packaging is very important, and I feel what you say when you sell your brand is important, but mostly what is the experience you give them when they get to your brand? Like, do you go to like a bookshop and is it placed next to something which you really love and you pick it up? And is it like, let's say you're launching a youth radio station and this is in a gift hamper that you're selling this coffee, or are you giving
100%.
away the proceeds to saving the planet? And this coffee brand stands for saving the planet. What do you stand for? These are the things which, of course, taste has to be good. So if you look at Starbucks, right, it's not the best of the coffee, but the music they play, the customer experience, it's just the barista experience, the free Wi-Fi. There's, at least in the Valley, there's a startup. Every corner there's a startup found a hub sitting and talking and building something. So that is all. Those are all things I look for when I go to a coffee place. So okay, what were
100%.
you? Yeah, what were you?
Yeah. That's what people think. But imagine it in this way: a potential person who would buy my packet of coffee would always look for the points that you mentioned. That's a startup founder's POV. But a community builder's point of view has to be like, what do these people do? Like, what sort of content do they watch? Let's say, do they watch Nikhil Kamath? Or do they watch Mark Rober? Or do they watch XYZ? What are the trades that are there? Let me just point it down. Imagine people who drink good coffee, great coffee, are always in productivity. If you see this behavior, people who are potentially buying my coffee are people who watch, let's say, Karma Medic or Ali Abdal in the lines of productivity. That's part A of it. That's how my content has to be. And part B of it is, how does the design has to look like? How does the, let's say, experience has to look like? Let's say it has to be cozy, wood, brown. The emotional capture has to be in a specific way. That's the UI UX part of it. And then the next important part comes in. How do you want them feel? You mentioned, right, the feeling of a coziness in a Starbucks. If you're able to make them feel in your events, in your branding, in your communication style, and then keep engaging them, keep giving them stuff, something like, you know what, in the downtown, I'm going to have free sessions where you come at a specific time and then you try out 4 different coffees and then you suggest to me, this is what you like, this is what you don't like. And then based on what you say, we're going to engineer a product. Imagine a company that's worth like $2 million is going to just be dependent on something that you're going to say. And then we're going to take really, really serious of what feedback you're going to give. And when you feel and when you make that person feel valuable, and they're going to stay with you. And that's building communities.
Wonderful. I never thought about it like that. You totally, it is really refreshing. Thank you for that. So maybe a lot of people will reach out to you on how to build community. We don't build anything so interesting as coffee here in this corner of the world. We're mostly building boxes with networking and B2B SaaS infrastructure. But there's a lot of great tech like VR, XR, where we can
100%.
use cool stuff to talk about. There's also biotechnology where they're programming the genes and they're building new kinds of drugs and cells in the labs. I'm sure they can use a lot of this kind of advice. So
100%. This example of a coffee packet is just something brainstormed. I saw that right now. So similarly, every company, as you said, XR, AR, VR, MR, every company that's building a specific product or a Web3 startup as well, or a Web3 company as well. So there is a way to build communities for everyone.
Wonderful. So on that note, you gave me really awesome advice on how to go about thinking about building great, successful communities. And so Chandan, that was an amazing session. What do you want to tell your audience before we close the session? What did you have in mind? I know you've talked about a lot of things, but you're a very well-read person. I'm sure there's something out there you've not shared with us.
I mean, I think nobody really knows anything. Everyone's just figuring it out. So one last thing that I want to tell out to everyone is that, I was talking to this guy from Rutgers the other day, it's not just him. A lot of people face this FOMO that people of their age or people less than their age or people, this is a FOMO that even I face. People were 15, 16-year-old trying to build, let's say, $1 billion startups, or let's say, have things sorted out in terms of relationships, in terms of, let's say, financial backing, or in terms of opportunities, anything and everything. And Instagram has become a place where people talk about it. I'm not saying it's bad. It's okay, but it's important to see through. It's something that I'd want to give to fellow 22-year-olds or fellow 20, 50, 60, 70-year-olds, that FOMO is what drives economies. But just be mindful of what matters to you and what doesn't really matter to you. If you really like something, go all out and just try so much that you fail more than someone even tries. And that's it.
That's an amazing. A lot of maturity for somebody so young as you. Definitely, I'll take home that thought more than anything else you've said today. Stay grounded, be self-aware, and see through the clutter in social media. This comes from one of the more successful community managers. I'm very surprised. You're entrenched in social media, but you're so self-aware. Thank you so much, Chandan, for these, this whole bunch of insightful ideas you've threw at us this session. There's a lot more hidden in you. I'm sure we should meet again and we should discuss
100%.
about many more topics here. Any last thoughts you wanna share? Your I think you shared your contact. Anything else you have in mind for the audience to stay in touch with you or be part of?
For the contact part, Chandan Perla 71. Or else just you can find me on Google at you can just put it on at Chandan Perla, ChandanPerla. Or again, Vidyangi, I believe you're gonna put it in the comment section or somewhere, right?
My email ID. I will. Don't worry. I will do that. Yeah.
So my LinkedIn, Instagram, anything and everything except for Facebook because I barely check it. You can reach out to me, and it's always about that first step of dropping a message, right? So one thing that I've seen is people really consider they're unreachable, but it's just about one single message. It's okay. The maximum that you even, let's say, Kunal Shah the other day, the only thing is you drop him a message, he's gonna get back to you. If not, what difference is it gonna make? Just reach out. And I think it's constant learning for me and every single one. That's it.
No, today that's what I learned from you. You're extremely humble. You're not afraid of failing, and you try relentlessly. That's what I got from you. Thank you so much, Chandan, and wish you all the very best. And I'm sure you'll succeed in whatever you're doing. And keep coming back. We'd love to have you once again. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the invitation, and have a good day. And I hope people had found value. And to the 30% gang who stayed till the very end, love from my side. And see you guys. Looking forward to have a conversation with all of you, preferably. And see you. Have a good day.
Thank you.